Time to re-up YouTube. Your boy Young Mustard is back with another video, and you know, I could have easily talked about the Lakers today and how LeBron James is teasing retirement, Anthony Davis is not taking on the mantle the way some people think he should, D'Angelo Russell is going to be in China, and all these other storylines about the Los Angeles Lakers, but I decided to do something a little bit different, and that is be positive. Everybody wants to make this about the downfall of the Lakers, LeBron's last stand, and so many other storylines revolving this Los Angeles team, to the point that it's almost taking away the spotlight from the Denver Nuggets and everything that they, along with Nikola Jokic, have accomplished this year and postseason. So many people doubted this roster, and even me, with all of my doubts about Nikola Jokic's defense in the postseason, I have never questioned his individual greatness as a player, as one of the 3 to 5 best players in this league, and you can make the argument that he is the undisputed best player in the NBA at the moment. The feats that he has been able to accomplish, the hurdles that he has had to overcome over the last couple of seasons have made this moment of them making the NBA Finals this much sweeter.
Can we agree, and I know Nuggets fans are going to get mad at me, if Nikola Jokic wins the MVP, he's the worst player to win the MVP since Dave Cowens.
No. I have a far easier time ranking him as the 5th best player in the league than the best player in the league. And you can take Luka out of it because he has hurt his stock this year. But if you want to say Giannis, Steph, Durant, Embiid are all better than Jokic, I have a much easier time with that than hearing that Nikola Jokic is the best player in basketball. And I didn't think people actually believed that.
Now, I myself have definitely had questions about Nikola Jokic, and I have made fun of some of the analytic nerds when it comes to his VORP or his PER. Trust me, it's definitely fun to make fun of the calculator boys per se. But when people go as far as to say things like Nikola Jokic is the worst MVP over the last 25 years, that's when I start to understand that this is bigger than basketball here. You clearly have an agenda, you are a hater, and you don't understand or appreciate the greatness of Nikola Jokic. I mean, I'm hearing people say that Jokic winning back-to-back MVPs is reminiscent of what Steve Nash did in the 2000s, which is just completely absurd. I mean, I love Steve Nash's game, and I think he's kinda underrated now by some people, but if you look at what Nikola Jokic has done over the last 3 seasons, Steve Nash could only dream of this. Jokic over the last 3 years has averaged 26 points a game, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists, along with a steal and a half, shooting 59% from the field, 36% from 3, 83% at the free throw line, which accumulates to an insane true shooting percentage of nearly 67%. Each and every year of Jokic's career over the last 3 seasons has been better than the previous one. People had so many agendas against Nikola Jokic that they let a season where he averaged 25, 12, and 10 on 70% true shooting not be the clear-cut MVP. And look, it's fine if you had Giannis as your MVP or Jokic as your MVP or Embiid as your MVP. They all had very valid cases, but it seemed like a lot of people that voted for the other candidates, primarily Joel Embiid, I should say, it just seemed like they had agendas against Jokic instead of actually rooting for the player they were voting for. And when people bring up things like quote-unquote playoff success and it's gonna look bad if he loses in the first round, that just sounds so stupid to me, because a lot of these media members will still tell you that LeBron James losing in 2011 is the worst black mark on any all-time great's resume, but yet they had no problem voting for him to win the MVP literally the next year. And you would think that Jokic was just going out there averaging 10 points a game on 33% shooting. No, that's not what happened. Yes, he did get swept by the Suns and lose to the Warriors in 5 games, but just look at the teams that he's losing to. These are some of the better teams over the last 3 to 5 seasons, one of the teams even being a championship team in the 22 Golden State Warriors. Criticizing his defensive ability in those series definitely is valid, but when you look at what he did offensively, averaging 30, 12, and 5 on 53, 35, and 84 shooting splits, that is somebody that played up from his regular season capabilities. That's an MVP I believe that you can be proud of.
At 6, I'll go with Denver.
I am a fool.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my
Nuggets.
God. Denver at 6?
Yeah, bro. This bench, man, like Jokic, he's going to play all time still. But Jamal Murray, MPJ is going to still have another injury rule season, I believe. I don't respect him anymore. I'm off of him.
You know, a couple of years ago when the Nuggets traded for Aaron Gordon and I saw the stretch they had with AG, Murray, MPJ, and Jokic, I saw something very special before Jamal Murray tore his ACL. I saw a team that was on the verge of greatness and a championship potentially. And now we're finally seeing that come in full fruition. I am fully aware of the fact that Jokic doesn't have any All-Stars or All-NBA players on his team, or even any All-Defensive team members on the roster. And one of the biggest reasons why, and you could argue the biggest reason why they were able to get to this point, is because Jokic is a great ceiling and floor raiser. The guy is able to maximize everybody around him and actually make them better. But at the same time, we can still acknowledge that the supporting cast played their roles to perfection. They're really good. Jamal Murray is in the midst of an all-time great run for a second option this season. And I say this as somebody that was very skeptical of Jamal Murray going into this season, especially after his ACL tear. This year, once again, he has risen in the playoffs to a new heights, averaging 28 points a game, 6 assists and 5 rebounds, shooting 48% from the field, 40% from 3 on 8 attempts, and 93% at the free throw line. As great as Jokic is as a playmaker to put Murray in the best positions to succeed in their two-man game, it takes two to tango, bruh. Murray is a really solid and underrated decision maker in these situations, but we all know his best attribute is his scoring ability. He can get to the rim and finish. He's really good in the post. I think he's a pretty underrated post scorer, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we talk about Kyrie and his immaculate post game for his position, but Jamal Murray is right up there too. His footwork is great, and that turnaround post fade, immaculate. Then you throw into the fact that he is one of the best three-point shooters in the league, along with being a really solid mid-range scorer, can do it off the catch, can do it off the dribble, spotting up, cutting to the rim. He can do it all for you on and off the ball as a scorer. Murray these playoffs is having an offensive run as the second option that rivals a player like Kobe Bryant when he played alongside Shaq. And that may sound crazy to some people that are Kobe Bryant stans, but at the end of the day, the numbers are the numbers, and just watch the tape. The man is virtually unstoppable. We just saw him go through a horrible first 3 quarters in game 2 and then close it out with 20 plus in the 4th quarter because he's just built like that. And I don't want to give all the credit to Jamal Murray because the rest of the supporting cast has come in very clutch as well. Christian Braun defensively did a great job in the last series against Kevin Durant. Shout out to Uncle Jeff, he's giving them some decent minutes in some of these games, even though the numbers may not show it. He's not playing too much, but when he's on the court, he does provide some offensive and defensive versatility. And speaking of versatility, shout out to Bruce Brown, man. I was telling people Bruce Brown is a really underrated bench player, bruh. Has the capability to score, even off the dribble at times, can attack closeouts, and defensively, he is never gonna cheat you with effort. Michael Porter Jr., even though he's not the star player that I think a lot of people hope for, he is fulfilling his role to the best of his ability. He's one of the best off-ball players in the league, whether it's cutting to the rim or spotting up. He is very good off the catch. In these playoffs, he is shooting 41% from 3 on 7 attempts a game. I gotta give him his credit where it's due. The man is a legitimate sniper. And speaking of shooters, shout out to KCP, man. Another championship potentially on the way to add to his resume. I remember the days when everybody used to make fun of KCP, and I remember thinking to myself and even telling some of my friends, KCP is a really solid role player. He just gotta get it together and get back in rhythm. And since then, he has been one of the best role players in the league. A good flexible point of attack defender with the ability to space the floor. I will always take that any day of the week on my team. But I'll say, out of all the role players on this roster, the one that I am most proud of has to be Aaron Gordon. I remember the days when Aaron Gordon was looking like a quote-unquote bust in Orlando, and I was saying time in and time out he is misused and miscast. Sure, he was a top pick in his draft class, but he is never going to become that star player or the face of a franchise. AG is in the perfect scenario because he is an amazing off-ball player with Nikola Jokic. They fit like a glove. He's a solid lob threat, he can cut to the rim, and off the ball, even though he's not a great shooter, he is capable of knocking down perimeter shots from time to time. But the one thing about him throughout these playoffs that he has offered them that a lot of other guys on this team cannot do and they desperately need is his defense on the wing. AG may not be all defensive team worthy this year, but he has still been a great defender for this roster, and he provides something that nobody else on this team can do. Sure, you do have Christian Braun, who is a great defender in his own right, but offensively, he's not bringing the same value that AG can. AG is strong enough to bang down low in the post with some of those guys, but he's also laterally quick enough to keep up with some wings and guards on the perimeter like Kevin Durant and LeBron James. The value that AG brings to this roster on both sides of the ball cannot be overstated. And this time with Aaron Gordon as the substitute for Jeremy Grant, new point of attack defenders like KCP and Bruce Brown, along with Jamal Murray coming back, who's also going to help you offensively along with MPJ's return, and players like Bones Highland, who can be a spark plug off the bench. The excuses are really out the window for Nikola Jokic. It's time to see if he can finally get the job done. And I present that question to you guys. Do you believe that Nikola Jokic can lead them to the NBA Finals, and will he? Well, I guess we finally have our answer, and the answer is yes. Nikola Jokic can lead this team not only to the finals, but to a championship. Because with the run that they have had this playoffs, Nikola Jokic has cemented not only his status in the league as one of the best players in the NBA and arguably the best player in the league, but in my opinion, he has cemented the fact that he is one of the 5 best offensive players that we have ever seen. These playoffs are proof of it, his career is proof of it, his resume is proof of it, and if you still are doubting him, I'm sorry, you're probably either xenophobic, a loser, or a bum. You clearly do not enjoy the game of basketball and you're stupid. But hey, that's just my opinion, you guys. Let me know yours down below in the comment section. Do not forget to also like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all my socials. The links are down below in the description box. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. You guys stay safe and have a blessed day. Peace.